Hello there. Every Sunday, you and me have a ritual. Or should I call this a date? Now, whatever the name may be, I sure am happy to see you. So, welcome to Colors of India. Let's take a quick look at the headlines and then begin the show. So, our top stories this week, as far as dance goes, we have the ballet. We then also bring you some magic this evening, and we have the delicious Parsi fare. The latest addition to Delhi's cultural potpourri is a ballet. Sri Ram Bharatiya Kala Kendra's Meera.
Meera, the epitome of love and devotion, a woman whose daunting courage was recognized centuries ago. When given a stage, she was revived again, reminding people that a Meera exists in every woman. Through a grand show, Delhi's passionate and enthusiastic culturati witnessed the undying spirit of Meera in the Festival of Ballet organized by Sri Ram Bharatiya Kala Kendra.
She wrote her poetry in almost an autobiographical way, and what we want to show through this is that women like you and me have to break the shackles of society, step out and be dancing and singing in inverted commas, enjoying our abandon, as Meera did.
Ballet is a form where a mix of dance, music and role-playing gets exaggerated exuberantly. In a Rajasthani setting, the story of young Meera and her growing fascination with the image of Lord Krishna is shown. As she grows, an adolescent Meera, played by Molina Singh, is seen as a spirited woman fighting the odds of society and never leaving the path of Prema Bhakti.
All of us have grown up with Meera bhajans, and you can't but help being impressed by what she could depict at that time and that day and age. Today when we talk about women and the position in society, what she went through, what she struggled for, but also emerging as a victor and a survivor during those times through her bhakti.
Taking cue from the mythological stories, the stage settings and costumes depicted the Rajputana flavor of Rajasthan. With the warm musical inputs from Shobha Mudgal and choreography by Shashidharan Nair, traditional folk dance like Ghumar and performances like Kachi Ghodi found place on stage, perfectly capturing the era to which Meera belonged.
She was not at all a very subtle, submissive, very docile kind of person. No, she was very headstrong. She knew her mind and she did whatever she felt, she said, and she did whatever she wanted. So I think she was the first feminist, I would say, in a real sense. And we talk about feminism and we take out morchas and all. No, she was, in her convictions were so strong, she didn't need anyone. People themselves followed her.
In the beginning, the character of Meera seemed to pose no creative challenges. But towards the end, one realizes that the miracles in Meera's life were metaphors for those hurdles that women back then survived and most still do today.
The devotion of Meera and the mysticism surrounding her life, all these were projected on stage. Now in our country, where goddesses are worshipped and women elected leaders, she is also abandoned and defamed, and an artist tells us how.
the medium of art has been a powerful mode for revolutionary activities since centuries. Using her skills, one such artist dared to use the brush as her voice. Titled Nirbhaya by Swarnalatha, the exhibition, named after the brave heart of Delhi, shows her anger and agony on the plight of Indian women today. The series is dedicated to Nirbhaya, Vinodhini and Vidya, victims of acid attack in Tamil Nadu, and to all the women martyrs who fought and taught lessons of bravery and self-esteem to the world.
It's affected me because that was an incident those days. No, I was here in the capital. So I feel that time itself ashamed of ourselves. So one girl, she did not walk alone, and with her friend, its incident would be. So I felt very much. I hurt her like. And after that also in our Tamil Nadu, our place also, the continuously incidents, the acid was and all. So that also is disturbed my mind very well. So I thought of doing, I wanted to register my feeling to the society.
Women have always been targeted, and their pain and suffering have been motivational and inspirational on many accounts for many artists for their art. Inspired by this, Swarnalatha's paintings depict the pain a woman goes through. In an abstract style, she shows the female body in an expressive manner. Using distorted shapes and angles, she brings out the horrific side. Red and shades of coral, yellows, blues and blacks which filled the artist's mind were poured onto the canvas.
I am very proud of her. She has taken the cause of the women, and crime against women has been projected well. When she told me that she is going to do this project in Delhi, I fully supported her and put one condition, that when you are doing an exhibition, you are not supposed to make it a commercial. The paints cannot be sold. You have to make it as a social cause. You have to bring it to the nook and corner of these countries and give a good message to all the people that crime should be stopped. It should be a good message to each and every people who are bound to and prone to all the crime which they are intending to commit against women.
Her paintings have metaphysical symbols like thorns, which are now adorned on the ears and the necks of women as her jewellery. This comments on the dominated state of women in our society. The eyes do not miss the presence of a positive symbol, that of the bird. Birds in her canvas depict the liberated spirit of womanhood, escaping the tortured body. She also exhibits 6 sculptures of women depicting the present scenario and their will and want for family. Through this exhibition, Swarnalatha tries to create awareness on the issue by reminding people of what has gone by.
Strong projections of brutality faced by Indian women. It's time for us to take a quick breather here, and I will see you on the other side. Off we go to the magical world, and then we move on to some classical tunes. Welcome back. This evening, let's all be children again and believe in some magic. Let's wait for the lights to dim so that the wands can come out and the magic can all begin.
Magic is the art of illusions, and in India we owe its fame to the great magician Pratul Chandra Sarkar, or more fondly known as P.C. Sarkar. His grand magic show, Indrajal, gained fame during the 1930s and gradually became world-renowned. Carrying the name forward, Pradeep Chandra Sarkar, or P.C. Sarkar Jr., along with his wife, daughter and fellow magicians, performed in Delhi after 12 long years, celebrating 100 years of Indrajal.
We all want to become a magician in our own field. That's how we have got hockey ka jadugar, cricket ka jadugar, football ka jadugar. Jadoo ka jadugar. Anyway, we all want to become a magician in our own respective fields. And people call me to be PC Sarkar Junior, whatever it may be. I claim that actual PC Sarkar dwells into the mind, into the people. To all the Indians, they have one PC Sarkar within. I want them to come out. That PC Sarkar to come out and show the world what we the Indians can do.
The veteran magician is known for combining mesmerizing melodramatic elements like fantasy and scientific illusions to create astounding performances in a brilliant ambience. In his 40 years career, he has presented numerous acts where the disappearances of the Taj Mahal and Victoria Memorial have been the most magnificent and memorable. Some of his other famous illusionary acts presented include psychokinesis, where he makes objects move, bend and float in thin air. And in Water of India, the jug never ever runs out of water.
He does not have a trick. He creates magic by his performance, right? He has a story to tell, and his magic is a part of the story. The difference between him and the other performers is they show tricks, he shows a story, right? And that is how he makes all his presentations slightly larger than life.
Indrajal is a large production where around 30 people work together to make the unbelievable believable. Menaka, representing the 9th generation of Sarkar's magic family, brought forth newer and much daring illusions.
Everything is an experiment for me because this has largely been very male dominated, and we have many examples or instances of men performing magic, and so everything has been designed, structured around male artists. Now when a woman takes center stage and plays the role of a magician, it is really experimental for me, and I have to pave my own path and basically go forth through experimentations.
Experimenting with better and bolder ideas, they plan to take their magic to a new level. The Sarkars eventually want to establish a center for teaching the art of magic, where this knowledge will be imparted to all aspiring magicians in an organized manner.
After that wonderful mind-boggling getaway, it's time for us to dwell deep with some classical music tunes.
Maharaja Swati Thirunal of Travancore was known as a prince among musicians and a musician among princes. Celebrating the centenary of the dynamic king who encouraged classical music, the International Academy of Mohiniyattam and Delhi Malayali Association organized the Swati Thirunal Festival at Habitat Centre, where different repertoires of this multilingual poet were explored.
Maharaja Swati Thirunal of Travancore is a great composer and a linguist. He wrote in more than 15 languages. He was well versed in Sanskrit, Malayalam, Tamil, Kannada, several other languages. And he also composed in a way that could cater to different kinds of audiences, like North India, East India, South India, all the parts of India.
Paying his tribute first, G. Raghuram presented his flute recital. He presented a piece in Raga Vasanta composed by Swati Thirunal himself. This evening raga, as the name suggests, ushers the spring spirit and is associated with hope and positivity. Accompanied by V.S.K. Annadurai on the violin and M.V. Chandrasekhar on the mridangam, Raghuram played using a combination of bass flutes, which gave his music layers and textures.
The The mixture of culture is what India is famous for. And probably we don't, sometimes we sing a lot of things probably that is there in Carnatic music. Some parts of Carnatic music probably is there in Hindustani, and Hindustani also. It's the seven swar. That has been probably, dressed up a little different way, put in a little different way. So that's why that becomes two gharanas of music. But I think music is all about 7 tunes, 7 notes.
Patiala Gharana's Ranita De was the youngest performer, accompanied by Rajendra Prasad on the harmonium, Ganesh and Rakesh on the tanpura, and her father and guru on the tabla. She presented a Chota Khayal on Rag Bihag.
The future of classical music is a very interesting topic actually, because on the one hand we feel that it's probably dwindling a little bit, but on the other hand it's very heartening to see youngsters, foreigners, people who have not really taken up music up until now taking a very keen interest. So it's a very interesting time and place for Carnatic music, classical music in general.
Today performing at Swati Thirunal centenary celebration gives me immense pleasure, because he's such a versatile composer. Whether it's Hindi, whether it's Malayalam, whether it's Tamil, whether it's Sanskrit mixed. So many languages he has composed, and he has given an opportunity to artists all over the world to be performing his compositions. That's where culture stands.
Smita and Srilekha presented a duet where they sang classical and semi-classical songs of Swati Thirunal. And each of these compositions by the king had in them his very name.
The event was all about reviving and rejoicing in our musical history, and I'm sure you agree that the results were fabulous. Now it's time for us to go on a quick break here. I will see you on the other side.
Coming up next, the refined taste of Parsi cuisine.
Welcome back. Over the last 1 year, Food Trail has helped me experience different cultures, customs and food habits. And today particularly, I'm thankful because this show has brought me in contact with some fabulous people, and I am going to enjoy their hospitality.
Of the 22-odd million people living in Delhi, 750 are Parsis, a dwindling minority. This means the role of the Delhi Parsi Anjuman, a long-standing institution at Delhi Gate, incorporates socio-political and cultural aspects of community building. The Parsi Fire Temple is situated within this complex, and as it remains off limits to non-Parsis, one can only guess what the insides look like. Logs of wood and the curling smoke from the chimney suggest that the fire that the Parsis brought to India 1000 years ago from Iran continues to burn within these walls. And the guardian angel, Farvashi, continues to watch over this community. Mrs. Bagli and her family are in charge of the Dharamshala, and she has agreed to help me decode Parsi cuisine.
Well, Mrs. Bagli, first, thank you very much for allowing Rajya Sabha Television to shoot here. This is quite a spread you have here for us. You were telling me a little about how this place came about. And
this is the Parsi Dharamshala, and we always cook for the people who stay here with us. Then after some time, we started having some weddings and navjots here, and some non-Parsis were invited for that function, and they got interested in the food. That's how some part has come to know that we do serve Parsi food from here.
And this is available for non-Parsis as well? If they just have to call and come?
They have to give me a call, because see, I cook for the people who stay with me. Now, if there are 7 people, I cook for 7. If there are 10, 10. But if you give me an order at 9 or 9:30 in the morning, I cook some extra, and then they can take away or come here and eat.
Now I'd like to ask you, have you ever considered maybe starting a restaurant? Because Bombay has many restaurants that serve Parsi food, and Delhi is the place which doesn't have one, and not many people are aware of food available here. Have you ever considered starting one?
I'm too small a person to go in for a restaurant or thing. But last year I did have a Parsi food festival where I had a crowd about 250 outsiders coming in and having it. It was a very successful food festival. And to tell you today, I might have one again.
Parsis are meat lovers, and the food on this table suggests just that. Special spice blends, dry fruits, and lemon add zest to this cuisine. And over the years, it has incorporated the flavors of the Western Indian coast. For those who want to know more, Parsi cookbooks are on display and are available at a price. The Patrani Machi was the first item I tried.
About this dish, Mrs. Mugli has already explained. This is therefore one of the most signature items that they have. And in I go.
This is steamed fish wrapped in a banana leaf and flavored with a coconut mixture.
I completely enjoyed this dish. It is really tasty. The coconut, the green chili, the coriander and the fish, they come together so well, and it kind of reminds me of the tenga chutney we have back in Kerala. But of course this is a different take to it, and I think it's a very good dish. Plus the fact that it comes wrapped up in banana leaf, now that is almost like a gift.
Salino Chicken is another signature Parsi dish. Don't let the bright redness of the curry mislead you. The chili used here is not the burning kind. Sprinkle some of these straw potatoes on top and you have a mouth-watering curry right there.
What I'm having now is the Salino chicken. This is, they have long shredded fried potatoes which is sprinkled over chicken curry. And the taste of the chicken curry is a mix of the tanginess of the tomato, a little sweetness of the tomato, and then there is also the crunchy texture of the fried potatoes. Together they make a perfect combination. It's almost like an explosion of flavors and sounds in your mouth. I really enjoy this.
A Sunday lunch is incomplete without the mutton dansak, served with caramelized rice and mutton kebabs. It is a delight to see large chunks of mutton floating in mashed dal and vegetable gravy, and if this sight doesn't do it for you, then look for the well-rounded brown kebabs seated on finely caramelized basmati rice.
I've never been a dal person, but the Parsis have something called the dansak dal, which is a set of caramelized rice with dal and mutton. The mutton is right there inside the dal, and I absolutely love that. It's almost like a melody between the pulses and the vegetables and the really well cooked mutton and the caramelized rice. And they also have a kebab at the side, which kind of makes it extra special, extra wonderful. I'm completely enjoying this food trail.
And at the end of it all, there couldn't have been a more pleasant sweet treat than the laganu custard topped with raisins and other dried nuts.
That's really wonderful. Very light in terms of the sweetness, but a good mix of flavors and a very, very light, happy ending. Now, while I get back to my dessert here, it's time for me to say goodbye to you there. I will see you next week, same time on the same show. Goodbye, take good care, happy eating.